31 News.
Oh, welcome back, guys. As you know, it is the big Memorial Day weekend, a whole bunch of people hitting the road, and this one of many busy traveling weekends that are going to be happening in the summer. So we wanted to get some expert advice on making sure this thing is ready to rock and roll. We've got Steve Peterson here from Christian Brothers Automotive. Steve, you have the two locations, the one in Lone Tree and Castle Rock.
Correct, yeah.
And there are a lot of basic things that we all should know that we don't necessarily know how to do. So you're going to walk us through some of those things.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about a few things that you want to be aware of as you head out for that road trip to Grandma or to the mountains or whatever. First thing we're going to do is talk a little bit about tires.
Yeah, especially in the mountains, they got to be good.
Yeah, they got to be good. And tires, believe it or not, are one of the biggest safety items on your vehicle. They keep your car attached to the road and keep you going where you want to go.
Kind of important.
Yeah, a couple of things that we look at with tires. The first is tread depth.
Okay.
And that is the amount of space that you have here in the grooves of your tire. We look at it using a gauge like this.
Can you buy those?
You can buy these, but I'll show you a couple ways that are a little easier. You push this in here, and it tells you how much tread you have left.
Got it.
The government considers a tire bald when it has 30 seconds or less of tread on it.
Okay.
I'll show you one of those.
That's
this is a bald tire.
That's a problem.
This is the one we took off a customer's car. Now, there are a couple of ways to tell when you're at that 30 seconds or more. The first is
the penny test.
To use a penny.
Okay.
So I learned this from my mother, actually. She wasn't a technician, but she taught me a good thing. The distance between the top edge of the penny and Lincoln's head is 2/32 of an inch. So if you put that in the tread, as long as you don't see the top of Lincoln's head, then you're okay.
If you see the top of his head,
then you got a problem. You need to replace tires.
Okay.
The second thing is the manufacturers of tires will build into the tire what we call a wear bar. And that wear bar is 2/32 of an inch tall. And so when you start to get close to that wear bar with your tread, that means it's time for new tires.
Everyone has this bar on their tire.
Almost everyone has them on the tires, yeah. The second thing that's important with tires is the proper inflation.
Yeah.
So you need to have air in your tires to keep them stiff enough to adhere to the road. And so there's a number of different ways or a number of different tools to check inflation. I've got 3 different varieties of tire gauges here.
The digital ones are so easy.
Digital ones are so easy. That's the one I'll use. How do you know the proper amount of air to put in your tires? The best place to check is on the inside of the door frame. You typically have a sticker that tells you for this particular vehicle what the inflation should be. So we'll check the inflation of this tire. Just unscrew the cap, turn your gauge on, plug it in, and it tells you you've got 40.5 pounds of pressure. It's
I love
just
the
that
digital one. It's so easy. We've got time for one more tip.
Okay.
One more thing.
Let's talk about batteries. You know, the worst thing that can happen to any of us is when you go out to your car and you turn it on and it doesn't start. Your battery's dead. You got to call your wife.
Been there, done that. It's horrible.
So let's talk about if you're using jumper cables. Obviously, you've got to wait for somebody to come along, somebody to come and rescue you. But there's a proper sequence to attach the jumper cable.
Which one goes first?
So we do the red to the dead car first. And in this car, interestingly, the battery is actually under the passenger seat.
Okay.
But they give us terminals that we can use for jump starting.
Okay.
So we'll do the red to the dead car.
Red to dead first.
Yep. And then the red to the donor car.
Okay.
Then the black to the donor car. And then you come back with the black to a part of the vehicle that's metal.
Okay.
It used to be when I learned how to jump a car, you put it to the negative terminal on the battery. They don't recommend you do that anymore because a lot of times it'll spark and you got a lot of flammable stuff in your engine compartment. So this car happens to have a post there that we can connect it to. You want to turn everything off that's drawing electricity from both cars. So turn your air conditioner off, turn your lights off, turn your radio off. Leave them on for a minute and then go ahead and start your car.
Got it.
Leave it for a minute to build up a little bit of charge, and then you're good to go. Now, these days, with the advances in battery technology,
I love the portable ones.
You now have these portable jump boxes. These things will retain a charge. They're rechargeable, retain a charge for a year or more.
Yeah.
So if you're out fly fishing in your favorite fly fishing getaway where nobody else is, and you have a dead battery, you've got a jump with you.
Those are a great option. We got to run, Steve. Thank you so
great.
much.
Kirk, thanks a lot.
From Christian Brothers, the locations in Lone Tree and Castle Rock. Such good advice, such simple things that we should all know how to do, and something you should be checking before you head out on the road. Let's get it into Greg now on a beautiful, sunny Friday morning.
It is, and I've still been jumping off the negative post. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm now going to change that practice. Back is the Schenker Skycam showing us clear skies out there early today. Hopefully you don't have any car trouble. It's just too nice of a day for that. Plus, you got to be running the AC. It's already